Yeah, I didn't really think all that highly of Charles Oliveira, and then I watched him kind of kick Kevin Lee's butt, and then he kicked Tony's butt, and that was kind of I was really impressed. But I think he's going to struggle with Chandler because Chandler obviously has strong wrestling, and he hits really hard. And I feel like Oliveira's kind of been a slow starter with great cardio at times, so I think it kind of leads Chandler.
Yeah, real exciting. I favor Oliveira. I think Oliveira's got all the tools. I think he's crispier. He's more technical. Poirier, of course, is incredibly well-rounded and just the doggiest of dogs. But I think Oliveira can capitalize on some of the mistakes and some of the holes in Poirier's game. So I'm gonna say Oliveira.
Charles Oliveira, I mean, a heck of a fighter. Just can you give us your impressions of that fight as a whole and his performance?
Yeah, it was an incredible main event. Both guys had an unbelievable performance in that fight, and Oliveira pulled it out. Incredible fight. Incredible first round.
I love the story of the fight. And Oliveira, who has won me over, in all fairness, he won me over because of his friend Gabriel Checo, who has called me and said, Chael, you got this Oliveira guy all wrong. This guy's a star. He's just not great with the English. Works his ass off. He's a great example. He's a hero in the favelas of which he never left. I hear these beautiful things about Charles Oliveira. In all fairness, Charles Oliveira's rise to the top was as slow as molasses moving uphill because he wasn't captivating. He had a manager who allowed him to change his appearance every time he fought. He would weigh in dark hair. He would fight with blonde hair. He would go to a press conference with glasses like Clark Kent. You'd have to hit the refresh button 4 times to go, why do they keep calling this guy Charles Oliveira? Oh, that is Charles Oliveira? Right, it was just a problem. There's a reason that Matlock wore the same light blue suit every time he tried a case. It's called branding.
Charles, I think he's more weathered. He's kind of found his stride right now. But that's the thing too, like, it really seems like they're both in a point in their career where they've kind of found their stride. They both kind of like have been through enough wars, have had their one-sided victories as well as their victories where they really had to gut it out. They've both shown that they can do that. And it's kind of just like, people keep following the story of Duke Bronx right now where it's like, holy crap, like he came in at this age and he had these losses and he had these wins and he had these losses, then he found himself. But it's very much a kind of a parallel to Poirier as well, because he kind of had some of those wins and losses early in his career. And he, again, looks like he's sort of found his stride. But I think Charles.
Charles Oliveira, from the longest time, I've been just such a huge fan of his, and I knew he was just going to go super far. The only problem that I've ever seen with Oliveira's whole situation in the UFC has always been his weight, but he seems to have it down pat at 155, and he's so strong there. And he just seems like so on point, and his jiu-jitsu is just crazy. But you can never count Poirier out. I think it's a coin toss, but I do got to give it to Oliveira.
So I bring that to you because now that Charles Oliveira has got the opportunities and he's got the belt and he's proven the best, it's incumbent on him. He gives me a story, I'll tell it. But guys, we have this age-old question that never ends. And I see people where they're blaming Dana, or they're bringing Coker, or they're blaming Chachery. I see the same thing where they say, I'm not being promoted enough. And I want to stop you right there. Stop right there and tell me what that means. What does it mean to be promoted? Because I know what you're going to say. You're going to talk about countdown shows. You're going to talk about photo shoots. You're going to talk about billboards. You're going to talk about main event featured. You're going to talk about 24/7. You're going to talk about fight lores. You're going to talk about digital. That's not what promotion is, okay? It's like music. There's only so many notes. There's so many ways I can get the story out. A great promoter is a great storyteller and nothing more. If you have a great promoter, he has a great ability to tell the story that is your fight. I don't know what the story is between Oliveira and Poirier.
Man, I'm gonna go with Oliveira, man. I don't think that he's gonna back up like Dan Hooker did. I think that Dan Hooker made a severe tactical error trying to fight, backing up and circling like that. I think Oliveira's gonna march forward, and if he gets taken down, that's kind of his wheelhouse, is his jiu-jitsu and his jiu-jitsu off his back and his, guillotine and arm in chokes and whatnot. So I think if Michael Chandler does take him down, it could be walking into danger there.
Oliveira stunned me with his ability to manage range. Oliveira knew right where he was, and he was following the basics. And how many guys do we see fighting for championships or the top guys, and they got to go out there and show off, or they got to put their hands down, or their chin is up, and they just can't follow the basics? Oliveira, hands up, chin down. He also knew right where Chandler was, and Chandler was fighting perfectly. Chandler was throwing some heat. Oliveira was barely slipping. 2 inches this way, 2 inches this way, little pull backwards. Oliveira's defense, it was so impressive because I don't remember thinking that about him from his other fights.
You think of Charles Oliveira, a guy that's been around here for a decade, and had some ups and downs and had some losses. So I'm just curious, along this path, did you ever look at him? He's clearly talented. He's got a ton of bonuses. But did you ever look and go, that guy's probably going to be a champion someday, or did you have concerns?
You never know. You never know with these guys. You never know what's gonna happen. This whole thing was based on timing. When you look at the timing of how this all played out, from Khabib's retirement to Conor losing to Poirier to a trilogy, Chandler looking good in the Hooker fight, Chandler, willing to do anything it took to fight anybody, and just all these things played out for this fight to happen tonight here in Houston. And it was an awesome main event.
Oliveira's not Khabib. He doesn't march forward and march through things to close that distance. I'm not high on. I would love to fight Charles Oliveira because I will show you what I'm saying. He's a quitter. He is a quitter. He showed it to you in the Michael Chandler fight. At the end of the first round, he was not looking good. He didn't want to be there. He doesn't want to be there when it gets nasty. Poirier's going to beat him up. He's a great grappler, but again, he's not he doesn't have the great ability to take you down to the ground. Poirier being a southpaw, he does a great job at controlling range.
I remember watching him go, wow, look at this guy. Look at this guy, hard to hit. He was doing the same thing with the kicks. He knew right where Chandler was. And the only time he would drop his hand to build a little bit of force with those kicks if he would step outside. Those are the X's and O's. Then Oliveira also has had really 2 problems in his career. Trouble making weight, problems dealing with adversity. When a fight gets going hard, when a fight gets tough, and there's a way out, he has found that way out before. Tonight, to watch him weather that storm, to watch him deal with that, to watch him put the past in the past, reset in between rounds, and come out and be a new guy, it was really something quite remarkable.